Here's Ryan. Into the corner for Dulion, left all alone. Dulion makes a move, takes the shot, and scores! How about that? Another late goal for the Houston Dash, and we are level at 1.
What's up, H-Town and all around? OSG, you know the mug, you know the voice. I've got some people with me tonight. Andres, the dynamic Foxtrot, is back. What's up, brother?
Pretty good, sir. I skipped last week's episode because I was recovering from Barb's Strait, and
Oh,
I still haven't
man.
recovered. But I'm here. I'm happy to be here, though.
Andres, a little under the weather, a little under the weather. And then back
Yeah.
for another episode from Bayou City Republic is Jake. Y'all all know him. You've all seen his face. So the girls all know exactly who he is. Jake, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Welcome back.
Good to see you too, OSG. Good to see you, Andres, and glad that evil demon is gone from you. Illness sucks. It doesn't matter if it's a 24-hour thing or a week thing. So, glad to have you back, brother.
Thank you.
Andres is going to recover quickly. You know, it's just he might relapse when Barb comes to Houston next year with Boston. So he might
Oh
disappear
no.
there for a
Yeah.
while.
That's gonna hurt. That's gonna hurt. Don't talk to me about that.
Make sure you're there for that game, and we'll make sure that y'all get a hug or something so that y'all can squash it. So squash it. But hey, y'all, this is the Dash Dispatch, and as you heard in the intro, we are excited because Evelina Dulzan, however you want to pronounce her name, however she wants to pronounce it. Actually, I'll have to ask her. But scores a late one, and here we are again, going beyond five straight unbeaten. Five straight unbeaten since the friggin' break. It's crazy. It's crazy right now. But y'all, we've got just a short show today. But we brought in Jake to talk about it and get into some of his thoughts and what Bayou City Republic is thinking on the market today with the Dash and how they're feeling as a whole and united group over there, the supporters section, of course. So let's just get into it, man. It's pretty simple. Hey, Houston Dash draw 1-1 in Louisville, Kentucky. We all know Louisville, Kentucky is going to be a battle, and it's been a battle every game we play them. They came to Houston and beat us 2-1. Avery with an 8-minute goal, and then Louisville fights their way back. Doesn't win the game on the stats, but wins the game on the score line. So, good to get the revenge, sort of, sort of. It is a draw, but let's start with the lineup. It was the same lineup as last week, so we're keeping beside Brian as the striker. Everybody else stays the same. So we're going with the striker mode two games in a row. Jake, we talked about what me and Andres have been talking about since the break is we've been starting Yaz at the 9, and she's not your striker. She's your forward, right? She's just, she wants to play wing. She comes back into the space and she receives the ball and then moves and takes on defenders. And so we kind of been missing an element that a striker provides, pushing that defense, stretching that defense out. So we've been kind of asking for a striker to start. Obviously, it has to be Messiah Bright or throw in Clarissa Laracy. Laracy obviously just coming in. So finally, he does it. He talks about it in the press conference, and then here he does it again. Are you Was that what you were expecting with the lineup coming out in this game, or were you expecting to revert back a little bit backwards, or following along with how the lineups have been produced? And what would you expect, Jake? And then, of course, I'm gonna follow up with you, Andres.
I was expecting pretty much the same lineup. It was a toss-up between Clarissa and Bright starting as our center forward, as our number 9. But it seems like Fabrice has found his official starting 11 for the squad. I mean,
For now,
there's heck, that game was unbelievable. The team performed well, so that's all that counted at
so
the end of the day.
so Andres, same question. We now first time we started 3 lineups in a row, and now we're 2 lineups in a row, just making the one change from the 3 to the 2. Were you expecting, or Fabrice kind of said in the press conference he was excited. We created more chances, so I was kind of expecting it, but it's a road game, so you didn't know what to expect. Well, what did you expect?
The tagline for Dash Dispatch going forward should be "If it ain't broke, don't fix it." because we've been talking about it for the past few episodes, and this time against Louisville, I'm gonna say it right now that we look so much better offensively. We've been creating a lot more chances and just more opportunities to go forward and try and score. And I was more so impressed with the first half because the team just showed that prowess and that energy to keep competing and just get on the board.
First half team. So we don't expect much from the first half dash. Always a slow starting team, but you do have a Messiah Bright starting. So you do expect a little more tempo, a little more pace from the dash, even though it is a road game. So you're curious. We were all curious what's going to happen once the whistle blows. So whistle does blow, and it was slow, but you did see the difference, and we did control a lot of possession where we were forcing the opponent to establish themselves. Louisville did definitely establish themselves in this game, and they did definitely dominate our midfield, and that's probably going to be the big inkling of this show right here that we're going to talk about. But looking early in the first half, possession was split, 1-1. I mean, 50-50. Dash just kind of had that little let's establish ourselves, but then lost kind of, Louisville kind of just took control, and it was just one of those games where Dash kind of played the ball back and forth and then just moved the ball up and tried to create a good opportunity, which they were doing, which was a good surprise. So a little bit different of first half. Andres, let's start with you this time. After you saw the first half, we go into the half 0-0, so it was a good battle. Nothing too dangerous from either teams, but you were seeing Louisville progressing those shots off against the Dash. What was your thoughts on that first half there?
I was definitely getting slightly worried because obviously Louisville started to open up the game more, and Houston had to start adapting. And you could even tell from the if you were watching the game on the TV, you could tell from the ambiance of the stadium, the fans were just anxious to get on the ball right away because Houston was just being a headache for Louisville for a good chunk of the game. So I thought it was pretty good, and you could say early on the second half, things were looking good.
Jake, did anything stand out to you in the first half there?
The first half, what really stood out for me is team defense. I mean, the forward three, they did pretty decent. The midfield needed a little bit of work, but the one defender that's been really impressing me so far is Paige Nielsen. She stepped it up quite a bit for those past couple of seasons. She's been really holding down and being vocal, commanding the back line along with Jane Campbell. So that's one thing I appreciate from that game. Danny Colaprico, she needs a little bit of more work within being that central holding mid, but once she fully adapts and assimilates herself into the system, she will be deadly for us.
This could have been one of those games where maybe Louisville's midfield just synced a lot better. And it just, because our midfield has looked good, and we've talked about our midfield maybe being a top three midfield in this league with Colaprico, with Sheehan, and then it's Maggie Graham that's being included as the third one right there. So, it was kind of a surprise to me just to see how dominating Louisville was and how they were able to maintain that possession and put that pressure. But as you mentioned, the defense stuck together and did a very good job, and that's across the board. Yes, Chappie, you did a great job. You are holding your own there. You're every bit of fight, every bit of energy. We give you shit on this show, but it's well worth it. And I hope you're hearing this, and I hope you're pushing and just making yourself stronger. You're sticking with it, and I'm with it too because you did a great job. So Jacob's in there in the middle, as you mentioned, Paige Nielsen, and then of course Amy Patterson on it. Amy Patterson didn't have quite the good game that she's been having, but that just could have been just the amount of pressure that Louisville was putting on right there. So 0-0 at the half. We move into the second half, and Louisville continues with the pressure, Louisville continues with the pressure. I think we did make our sub and get Clarissa Laracy in at the 70th minute, so it was still 0-0. And then, it was a set piece, a corner kick, I believe, where Louisville just was, I mean, she's a giant. Flint just was able to put one. It came across the goal, and then she heads it back across into the net. I believe it was Paige or somebody who had tried to head it out, but it was already too deep into the goal. But Andres, Did you notice anything coming out into the second half that stood out to you, or did we just kind of, which I'm fine with, stick with the same game plan coming into the second half, and it wasn't necessarily anything, man. It's hard to play ball there, but what did you see? Did anything lead up to the goal, or was it just a moment that Louisville earned?
It was kind of just a moment because obviously I was worried because they got the first goal, which of course have
Mm,
to get back into the game. But at the same time, just being more educated about the dash for the past few games, the past 4 games, at that like we've been a team that has been showing up late, and as a team that could have been creating a lot more damage if the opponent is not able to contain them. And I felt like the substitutions themselves were pretty good. It definitely attributed to the game, especially also when you mentioned Clarissa Larissy coming in at 60th minute, Dolajan coming in later on, as well as Sarah Puttingham. And obviously, you could say it's a little bit of a hint of what's going to happen next, but obviously just uncomfortable that they gave away the first goal like that, even though it was a corner kick. But yeah, that's how things work, unfortunately, sometimes.
Jake, this is a situation where set pieces we're going to be susceptible because we don't have the height in our team technically really at all. You have Katie Lynn, who's on the bench, is probably your biggest, tallest player. All the rest of our girls really don't have any height. Maggie Graham is height with slinky, so you just got to get a little more beef in there to really control the box. So I think teams will be able to take advantage of us on the corners. Do you see that becoming an issue, or is it just if we can find a way to mark and proceed correctly that this is just kind of a small flaw that the opponent has found in our brigade?
Uh, I'd say there is room for improvement. I know our players can be a little more physical in a way. Um, Heck, I remember. You remember Hoopla Squad, our 5'6" goalkeeper, and how she managed to make herself big in the goal for us, along with Heather Lynn or Heather Hinge. Both of
Yeah.
those goalkeepers were short, like 5 foot, between 5'6" and 5'9", but they were able to create size for themselves, such as extending their arms out, making their bodies, repositioning their
Right.
bodies to put out some extra muscle to muscle off those players. So that's one thing our defense can learn along with our other players. We may not have the tallest players on our roster. I know Katie Lind, she's like 5'10", 5'11", around there, but there are ways for our players to make themselves bigger, and I've actually been seeing it in these past three games. They've been muscling. They've been muscling their way. They've been defending with their lives, stuff like that. So
Yeah,
I'm impressed with what they're doing.
they've been defending well. You're right, and as long as you follow your runner or you just create enough pressure on your runner, you can just create. I'm watching City all the time, and if you put enough body on Holland, he's not going to be able to really get that best header on goal, but he's going to get that header on goal. It just may not be exactly on target. So if we could just disrupt and prevent, then the girls are doing their job. Again, this one was an overhit, and Flint was backing away and put the ball back, onto the target of goal. So it was kind of like she they earned that one, I guess. So you'll take it. It's 1-0. You're like, but as Andreas said, it's a heartbroken heartbeat. Just check the pulse real quick because you're like, oh, here we go, getting towards the end of the game here. Dash are struggling to score. Louisville's controlling this game. You don't know where it's going to come from. As you mentioned, the subs. So Clarissa Larissy comes in, and she does good. We'll talk about her here in a minute. Well, you know what? Actually, let's just jump into Jake. What do you think of Clarissa Larissy's? Also, last game included her 30 minutes of what was it? 30? You said, Andres, 30 minutes in this game plus last game. What do you think of her performance so far since her addition to the team?
She came into the league as someone I haven't really watched in the international leagues, but hearing the words "she's blazing fast" coming from Chappie, I knew we had someone special coming in. I mean, it may not be a big signing player like, say, a Vivian Miedema or a Sam Kerr type of player, but the way Clarissa instantly changed the pace of the game when she came in last game and this game just goes to show that she has the heart and soul and already has massive respect to play for, to have the crest, to be repping the crest and repping the fans out there. So the way I see it is she's blazing fast, she's dangerous, and as soon as she assimilates herself into Fabrice Catra's system, she's going to be deadly for us. I think deadlier than Kaylee Ohai and Rachel Daly in the past, along with Janine Becky as well. She created quite a bit of havoc. So I see Clarissa Larisi adding that spark to our offense any single time she's on. And if she continues this trend, heck, I can see her starting in the next couple of home games or so. That's how good she is.
I love the hype for Clarissa. I agree with you. She looks good, but Andres, there's a reference to a lot of history right there with the dash and a lot of expectations there for Clarissa. So you aren't here last week, so I asked you the same questions, man. What have you seen in Clarissa Larisi in her 2 appearances?
Just the ability to not only be another piece that contributes to creating more goal scoring opportunities, but just a vision of the game, just being able to understand where she wants the ball to be and just where she expects her teammates to be, and just create those opportunities at the right place at the right time. I feel like early on, if I've been seeing a lot of good things. Granted, she hasn't scored yet or anything significant like that, but I mean, a lot of the opportunities come through her, and you could even say like a lot of the contributions are attributed to her just for the fact that she's been able to open up games like that for now.
Hey, I'm with it. I like it. I like what she's done, what she's proven. Especially her personality stood out 100% after, the last week, Jake, you got to meet her as she was coming into the tunnel. I got to meet her in the tunnel in the press box, the press conference. Just so I got to see her play first. Cool. Got a good impression of her. But then got to meet her, and just her personality is just I'm not bubbly, but she's just so excited and just what is the word I'm looking for, Jake? You always hit these on them because you met her, and she was the same thing if you watched the press conference or went and we watched the press conference. Just her personality was just so amazing to me, just for my first impression of her. You did get to meet her, of course, before she made it to the locker room, or did you get caught up with everybody else?
I had some good conversation with her. It lasted like maybe 3 or 4 minutes, but Clarissa is legitimately glad to be here in Houston, playing for the Crest, playing in front of the fans. She's heard great things about Houston through her current and former Canadian teammates. I know Chappie speaks a good bunch about her, and the way I see it is, as soon as I introduce myself as, "Hi, I'm Jake. I'm the president and one of the co-leads of the Bayou City Republic, the Houston Dash Supporters Group," her eyes just opened up and brightened up. That's how proud and glad she was to engage with supporters group leads and everything. And the way I see it, if she puts her heart into it, she's going to be here in Houston for a long time, and I can feel it.
I hope so, because right now the first impression is a great impression. So, need that first goal, Clarissa. Clarissa, this is straight to you. I'm talking straight to you, because I know you want it too. But Clarissa, we need that first goal in 2025 to come soon, and don't wait till you come back home in 3 games and do it there. Go ahead. You have 2 games on the road. Go ahead and knock it out the park and get as many goals as you can before you come back home. But get that first goal in the calendar year. That she has not, Jake, I don't know if you knew this, she has not scored a goal in 2025 yet. So she did have some opportunities with Crystal Palace before she came over there, but she has not hit that mark yet. So look for that too. When she gets her first goal for the Dash, it's her first goal in 2025. So expect to see a lot of excitement. See, I'll be ready for it. Hopefully it doesn't happen at home. It better happen on the friggin' road, and it better happen next friggin' week. But all right, man. All right. So substitutions, as Andreas mentioned earlier, Duljan and Putengam came in. Putengam, I was kind of questionable why she came in, but maybe he felt like our midfielders was not having that great of a game, so he pulled her out. Alozia and Gary's did not make the did not make it onto the pitch today, even though they were on the bench. They were available, so that was kind of weird not to see that either one of those made it. But hey, yeah, you put in Duljan, of course you're going to put in Duljan or Duljan. I think it's Duljan. You're going to put her in, of course. She's been starting, but I like what she does, and sometimes she dribbles herself into a mistake, but she's dynamic, and I like what she does. And if you go back and watch the replay of her off the ball when this build-up play started, she just blazed on a sprint. She's playing that right wing. She's out there way by herself too. She just blazed on a sprint, and you see her bolt. And then I think it was Maggie with the assist, wasn't it? I don't even know who got the damn assist. I forgot about that part. Uh, Whoever got the assist, Andreas
Jasmine
is
Ryan.
looking. Jasmine Ryan with that switch. They led her, and then Duljan did her little thing, played a little footwork, and then just put the ball across the net where you're supposed to and just put the ball in the back of the net. You can tell how excited she was, not only for her first goal, but to tie that game up in extra time and the dash do dash again. They go beyond and save it to the brink of death and score that goal 1-1. Whew. So Jake, I'll start with you, man. I know you had to be excited seeing that play. The build up, first off, because of what Louisville was doing to us controlling the game, but available to put the build up, get the ball to Diljan, and then just putting that ball in the net. And the defenders was on her, but she was doing enough to where make that defender stretch and just was enough. It was friggin' awesome. I know you were probably more excited than I was, though.
For me, it was like, okay, Eve or Dolly John. I'm sorry, ma'am, if I'm mispronouncing names. I'm just going to call you Eve. When when I saw her running and slicing and dicing, interchanging with Yasmin along with Clarissa and some of the other players as well, leading up to that build-up, it's like, okay, she's going to do something. She's going to do something. And then that one small slip-up from Louisville's defense, especially the last line of defense before it hit Bloomer, it's like, okay, this is going to be a block. Next thing you know, it's like, oh man, oh man, oh man, it's going in. Yeah! That play, that build up to the play and leading up to a goal was one of the most beautiful things I've seen the Dash execute all season. So that goal, seeing Eve scoring her first goal in Houston Orange, or in this case, Houston Purple, it was amazing. Just that build-up play alone is like, okay, I feel a goal come in. I know Louisville scored on us. They're probably locking it down, trying to park the bus and everything, trying to lock us out. But Eve, she thought outside, got creative, started communicating more with the rest of the team, and sure enough, bink, we got that draw, we got that goal, and I'm not even going to repeat how I celebrated. That's how jazzed I was for Eve.
Excited. Andreas, same thing, man. It's 91st minute or just past the 90th. We're into extra time. And you're like, come on, it's got to come. And you're like, well, how's it gonna happen? And then, you see the build up, and then again, I have to point out, just Evelyn just starts, and yes, finds her, and then it happens. So, Andreas, I know same excitement for you, I'm sure, but maybe not as much as Jake's. You don't have to be an explicit.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't know if I was more excited than Jake, but I was still very excited for the fact that we scored in the 90th minute. Like barely when we got the stoppage time announced. So it was beautiful. It was something that it really says a lot what the team is right now and what they've been working on for the whole year. It's just great to see because it's very rare to see Houston connecting like this and just being able to produce in big results. Considering also the fact that we've been having such a slow start to the season and we've been waiting for so long just to see things come to fruition at this point. So it was great. The team deserves this for sure, and it's definitely something that they can be proud of.
They're 100% proud. I mean, as we said, it's 5 games now unbeaten since the return of the break. And we say 5 unbeaten because we can't count the 2 friendlies that we won during the break as well. One of those against Monterrey, and then of course the Ascent of North Carolina, but or wherever the hell they were, Carolina Ascent. But the team has been looking good. Fabrice is sounding very happy about it. The chemistry has been one of the things that's been talked about as well. Is just growing and growing, and then the girls just love road trips. Of course, what girl doesn't like road trips to begin with? So man, they're going to be on the road for 3 weeks straight on the plane, not buses like Clarissa said, where you're coming from England and you could basically ride a bus 3 blocks and you're at your opponent's stadium. Now you're hopping on a plane and then riding a bus from the hotel to the stadium and blah blah blah. Or if you're going, shoot, but there's travel involved now. Welcome to the United States. But a lot of chemistry is being built and it's showing finally on the field, and the idea that Fabrice has been building is showing it. And I think, going back to the rest of the season, we had the first half dash and the second half dash, and everybody enjoyed the second half dash, but of course they accomplished more. But I think the tempo and the idea was a lot better, and that's what we're seeing now from the dash at the start of the game. And it's the slow build up dynamo Benny ball type of dash doesn't work. So I like that we're going to continue the tempo and we're going to keep moving forward and keep pushing and trying to control games. And if we're not controlling games like we are against Louisville, you're not afraid to counter whenever you do have the opportunity. So great 1-1 draw. Jake, any final thoughts on this match before we move on to the roundup?
I've got to compare the Houston Dash to the WNBA team, Indiana Fever. We're the team that everyone pretty much despises, but we as fans and as super fans, I know both of you probably feel this. Our team, their chemistry has actually improved during the preseason this year and has continued to bond together. The outside world doesn't see it. Everyone who's part of the Dash fam, they see how close the team is together. I say team chemistry this year is greatly improved since 2021, that era. The chemistry kept building and building and building, and now we're starting to see the flirtation coming together. And that's what led up to our 5-win or our
Unbeaten.
5 unbeaten streak.
Yeah. Unbeaten streak.
Yeah. Andres, any final thoughts on this match before we move on to the roundup?
Well, this is quite significant because the last time Houston were unbeaten in the last 5 games was back in 2022. So we're looking at 3 years since an accomplishment like that happened, and of course a lot of things happening in the meantime, and it's more significant to say because we haven't seen the team look this good even since then, a little bit before then too. But it goes to show that how much the team has progressed lately and what can they can accomplish for the remainder of the schedule. So definitely a good result out of Louisville, and hopefully they go step up from here.
Gotta keep it going. Yep, the only way is up. I mean, there is some people below us, but you're right. The only way is up. That's the only way we're going to accept it either way. All right, y'all. 1-1 draw. Not much else to take out of that game because nothing else really kind of stood out, particularly watching the game. So good game, 1-1, 5 games unbeaten. That's 2 wins and 3 draws now. So that's a point in every game. It's moving up slowly, man, moving up slowly. But real quick, let's go through the schedule. And also I want to highlight last week because I did neglect to highlight the NWSL record with 40,000 people that went to Bay versus Washington in Bay FC. They played that at the
Oracle Park. Oh, yeah, Oracle Park, the baseball stadium for the San Francisco Giants.
Yeah, and amazing turnout. I don't know what they did with marketing or how they pulled that off, or was it just a stadium? Did they give tickets to Giants fans? But 40,000 tickets were sold for that game, and it was an epic friggin' game. It was 3-2 Washington Spirit, and what a friggin' game. Wanted to highlight that real quick because I didn't highlight the attendance last week. I just highlighted the game. But moving on this week as we started, we were the first game for the weekend, Louisville versus Dash 1-1, of course. And then boom, here we are. Orlando Pride are reeling, man. Banda goes down for the season. That Fabrice Petros's wife Morgan gets sent to Newcastle. Orlando can't win a game now, and this game was at home too, by the way. Orlando goes down to Gotham 2-0, which was, man, crazy. I know y'all. I'm pretty sure y'all want to talk about this game real quick. Both those teams are preparing for Women's Champions Cup also on Tuesday, but they were playing each other, so Gotham with the win, and they probably needed that win more than Orlando. They need anything y'all want to add to that?
Yeah, I'd say that it's bad for us because it now increases the threshold to get into the playoffs by 4 points, and it's sad. But I mean, it was a good result for them. Good result for your favorite Juan Carlos Amoros, and yeah.
I know, man. I kind of like Gotham, but I don't like him because, one freaking bastard, just
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
started with us and went to them. But we'll move on. Seattle Reign versus San Diego Wave. San Diego Wave is our next opponent and not in good form. They tied 0-0 up at Seattle. Portland Thorns and Utah Royals. Utah Royals is who we're going to in 2 weeks, and you know what kind of opponent they've been against us. They won 2-1 against the Portland Thorns in Portland. So what a big win for them that was there. KC Current beat North Carolina Courage 2-0. Who cares about the KC Current? They're 14 points up. Already clinched the Shield playoffs, all that good stuff. I don't know if they clinched the Shield, but they clinched the playoffs, and nobody's going
They're
to catch
about
them.
to.
Yeah, I mean, 14 points. Like, come on, that's it. That's just amazing. So I know that's only 3.5 games. So obviously there's more games to it, but they're going to clinch the Shield easily, and they're going to be expected to win the title, and everybody's going to be gunning for them. And I said this. Did I say this on the show last week, or did I say this to somebody else off the record? But I hope we get the 8 seed. I will go to Kansas City. I
Yeah.
said this in the Discord, didn't I? Well, I don't remember where I said it, Jake. I know you said the same because I think you emojied and you agreed. We're going to Kansas City if we're at the 8 seed versus the 1 seed in Kansas City. And I don't remember who it was. Somebody said something, but we're doing that. So y'all get ready, make plans. We make the playoffs. We get that 8 seed. We're going to Kansas City. Washington Spirit, Chicago Stars, 0-0. And then tomorrow, yeah, it's tomorrow, or is it tonight? Angel City plays tomorrow, I think. Angel City plays somebody. The other team that's left, obviously, right? Angel City plays Bay FC as the follow-up in the last game of the week. So standings as we currently have it, like I said, KC current way up there, 46 points, and you have Washington with 32, San Diego in third, who's our next opponent with 30, but they're lacking, man. They got 3 draws, a win, and a loss in their last 5, so they're 4-7. We're getting ready to talk about them and get y'all's opinion. Orlando is falling to 4th with 28, Seattle 27, Portland 26, Racing 26, and Gotham 24. As Andreas mentioned, those 3 points were huge for them because now North Carolina is 9 with 21 and Angel City with 20, who plays tomorrow night, so get some extra points. Or tonight, I forget which one it is. And then us sitting in 20 points. So, man, these draws are awesome to have, but we could use some winning points right there. So looking at this standings, man, Andreas, it looks like you got something lurking, something ready to say, man. Are we okay?
I
Where
mean,
we're at?
we got 9 points in the last 5 games, so we're doing pretty good. It's just a matter of starting to win games at home. Gotta win those games at home, But as what happened, what matters the most is right now, and I feel like the team is getting a good hold of themselves, and they figured themselves out already, which is great to see. And it's just a matter of getting as many points as possible until the end of the season. So they just have to hopefully win out, but obviously that's more difficult than it sounds like.
Whew, win out. That would be friggin' amazing. We're going to be better than the 8 seed. But all right, Jake, we got San Diego Wave or that coming in. We're going to San Diego Sunday night, 7:30 game. on the West Coast, 7:30 Central Time as well, not a West Coast 7:30 time. So they'll be playing at 5:30. So you'll be seeing the sun coming down or whatever. It'll be pretty, whatever. So we're not used to that here in Houston. But San Diego, UCS, what are you expecting out of the San Diego game? Again, I said their form is they're at 3 draws, a win, and a loss in the last 5. They recently lost to Racing. They drew to Seattle. They beat at Bay, but they drew Angel City at home, and they drew North Carolina Courage. So it looks like they're having problems scoring, but they're still playing defense. So man, Jake, what are you looking in? What are you looking into this match coming up against San Diego Wave on Sunday at 7:30?
I'm looking at a pretty decent game, and I say that respectfully. If Fabrice, along with his coaching staff, along with the team, do their homework on San Diego, I'd say we have a great chance on beating them on their home field. Right now, team chemistry for the Dash is on the ups, and I feel as if it's only going to be improving. So I know if the scout teams do their homework as well, we shouldn't have a problem against San Diego on the road. And just like I said, with this last Racing Louisville away game, team chemistry was a lot higher than what has been. And if the team can maintain that one bond, one family thing, we will be unstoppable on the road. So I'm expecting a pretty hard-fought match out there. I know San Diego, they've just been on the up and down, kind of like a teeter-totter, kind of like us, but we've been kind of maintaining the plateau a little bit. I hope to see one end rise up a little bit on the stats for Houston, which is coming. I can feel it. So I'm predicting a very decent away game versus San Diego. I've got faith in the team. I got faith in Fabrice and, of course, our captain, Jane Campbell, being vocal and leading the team out there, along with all the other players. So I'm predicting a great away game for San Diego.
San Diego, super defensive team, only giving them 19 goals this whole season. It looks like they like to work their ball up the left wing. I'm not displaying their right wing because their right winger, Cascarino has 5 assists and 3 goals, but San Diego's got goals and assists coming up and down that left side, and so it'll be curious because Chappie got to guard Banda and not Banda, but yeah, it was Banda, and she's been playing both sides, so I'm expecting Chappie to be put in first because you want to use A.B. Patterson in the attacking mode, so you're going to put her on the less used side, I think is what Fabrice is doing. So, Andreas, I'm going to ask you, man, the pressure is going to come down that left side to the right. It is, man, they're a good defensive team. So, do you think we'll be able to slow their attack down enough to where we'll be able to counter and catch them off guard in this game at all? Or what do you expect from this game as well?
I mean, it's just going to be another complete game by everyone, or at least everyone's going to be required to put as much effort as possible because, like you said, they're going to be a defensive team. They're going to be more than ready to set up that counter, and he's just going to have to be on their toes at all times. And defensively speaking, Houston's have to be ready to open up the game a little bit more, especially over the course of time, and just to try to keep up with their tempo, depending on how much they want to keep with the ball. Defensively speaking, you can already suggested that this could be a side that they might be focusing on, even if they like to switch around things. It's still going to be a pretty difficult game for not just the offense, not just the defense, but everyone. Everyone's going to have to be ready to get that win by any means necessary. Obviously, a draw will be nice, but they need that win.
All right. Well, speaking of wins, our last win against San Diego was in San Diego, was a 2-0 win. Andreas, get your Kleenex ready because Barb scored in that game and Bachman scored in that game. Neither one are with us, but we ended up winning that game 2-0. That is the only win for the Dash in history against the San Diego Wave as well. But it is hopeful that we know we can play there, and it was just last year. Granted, there was no Alex Morgan anymore in San Diego. Might not have been as good. So we play better on the road. We look good on the road. We've been looking good since the return. So I want to ask y'all score predictions. I am unfortunately going to say 1-1, and we're going to draw again. And the storyline, I don't know if it's going to continue with the late goal heroics, but it's going to be 1-1. Andres.
I do have Houston 2-1. I kind of expect like a pretty difficult game. We might be looking until I draw up until like the 80th minute, and then we're gonna get that second goal in that
Late
time range.
late heroics. Who's scoring? You know that question's coming too. 2 goals. Who's scoring? OG counts. On goal
I'm
counts.
feeling I'm feeling optimistic. I'm feeling optimistic. I'm gonna say Larry C, and then I'm gonna say Jasmine Ryan.
Ooh, that would be epic. That would be epic. And I hope Larissy gets the second one in, so it's the insured game winner, late heroics. All right, Jake, same thing. What's the score? And if we do score, who's going to score them?
I'm going with the same as on Andreas, 2-1. I'm predicting a very hard fought match, equal up to I'd say extra time in the second half, and then Larissy just coming in and saving our asses, either her or Avery Patterson, the person who scores before that extra time period. I'm guessing it's a toss up between Messiah Bright or Yasmin Ryan.
Okay, so y'all two like the Yasmin Ryan and Clarissa Larissy goals. I love the Clarissa Larissy goal. Want to go ahead and get that off. And hey, I wouldn't mind if Messiah Bright scored a goal in this one too. You know, I think she needs it. She's been putting in the work and putting in the effort. It'd be awesome to see her get a goal because she does take some shots, just some opportunities that she creates for herself sometimes. I would love to see just a banger classic come out and you already know the TikToks are working before the games. So, you know, we love these road trips and y'all keep an eye out for, as Jake would say, Eve, as I would butcher her name, Duljan. We'll just call her Evelina Bright and who's the third? Crap. Oh, wait, why am I missing the third person here? Evelina Messiah and Jesus Christ. Now I feel stupid here. Oh my God, there's 3 of them that do the damn TikToks before the game. So
That's
I don't know how
Michelle
to. Yes,
Alozie.
goddamn, Alosia. I was like, why am I? You know why I forget? Because damn, coach didn't play her this game, and we were expecting her to come back and play. So yeah, y'all look forward to the highlights before the game, and I think it's showing off. Yeah, Jake, what's up?
Now, here's a question I have for both of you. Will Fabrice go with the same starting 11 on this road trip, or will he completely shock everyone and go with a completely different starting 11?
Same one for sure.
Yeah, that's easy. It's the same one.
Yeah.
The only change I would see is if Clarissa is 90-minute ready, she might get to start instead of Messiah. But otherwise, you go with the motto that Andrea said earlier. Don't break it. It's if it's not broken, don't try to fix it, right? But the only I would maybe one change. Yeah, only one change because Lisa Bowden hasn't played, so she's not ready. So she might be available to come off the bench and get minutes there to earn it. Westfall didn't get no minutes, so you're not starting her over Chappie. So Chappie's doing good enough anyway, so you start Chappie. So no, there is no change. If he makes changes like that, then it's like, what the heck? Especially when you play from a Friday all the way to a Sunday, everybody's going to have complete rest. So yeah, stick with what you got. Go with that lineup. The only change that you might make is Clarissa getting the start instead of Messiah is the only thing I would say. And I'm okay with that too, as long as Messiah is coming in for Clarissa later on in the game for that striker position and you maintain that striker identity that the Dash have. So that's mine, man. You better stick with it.
I
Yup.
want to see Lisa.
I turn the question back to you because that was a curious question. Yeah, at least I hope she plays. But are you expecting something different from Fabrice?
We'll see. I mean, he's thrown some different lineups at us at the beginning of the season, so I'm just curious to see what his game plan is leading into the San Diego away game and who his personnel are, who's going to be taking with him, who the traveling 18 are going to be, stuff like that. So
I think it's pretty sad who the traveling, 18 is. Breed is number 19, and she makes it if someone's hurt, but no one's hurt right now. Everybody's healthy. So, and you're not bringing a third keeper still. So, there's 21 girls, I think, that make the trip, and 18 of them make the bench, get to put their uniforms on. So I'm not expecting no changes out of that, but that's good with me, and that brings confidence in with me. And you can make little adjustments to the tactics to improve with the starting 11 that you have. And I think we're going in the right direction. So Jake, if he does come out with that, I will be completely surprised, and the result might show it. I hope not. So that's where I would be if the lineups changed. I'd already be angry to start the damn game.
yeah,
All right, y'all. So that had happened. So we're looking on. All right, the transfer window has officially closed, but you know how things work with lawyers. If the paperwork has been started or submitted, and they're just finalizing things and just doing this, and then they can announce, after the fact that there's a player addition. But the transfer window has closed. We brought in Lisa Boughton. We brought in Clarissa Laracy. We loaned out. I'm trying to say Barb and Rebecca at the same time and call her Pete for some reason. So Rebecca and Zoe have both been loaned out to LaGrava. We'll be coming back to them here shortly. Barb sold to Boston and then loaned out to Tigres, so we'll have to keep an eye out on her. I don't know. I didn't pay attention to see if Tigres has even started their season yet, or they're still in preseason or whatever. But the transfer window is closed, and I think the Houston Dash are done in this transfer window, and there is nothing else. You do have a press conference on Wednesday the 3rd with Angela, which will be provided, and media will get to ask questions, and then others that were given that link will get to hop in and get to ask Angela questions to see just give her perspective and then answer some questions that I'd be curious too, but we'll see what that plays. But I think we're done, and I think that's it. So, Andres or Jake, do y'all think we are not done with the transfer window and there's something else coming?
I think we're
I don't,
done.
I don't know, man. I mean, with this Angela press conference coming up, um, who knows? Maybe she has something up her sleeve that didn't get leaked or hinted at by the international media. So only time will tell. So looking forward to seeing what Angela has to say on Wednesday, and we'll go from there. But you never know with this club. Sometimes something leaks out, like say the Associated Press leaks something out to the U.S. press, and that gets plastered before the official announcement. But the way the Houston Dash have been able to keep things under tabs and whatnot, only time will tell. So definitely looking forward to hearing what Angela has to say, and who knows, maybe she's shopping around for international players come next season.
That could be a possibility. While you're at your games, your watch parties, can you, get the message to one of your friends, to a Cat Macario over there, and just let Chelsea know you're not using her. Bring her here. Come on. What the hell?
As a supporter of the Chelsea Women's Supporters Group, or a member of the Chelsea Women's Supporters Group as well, I will try and get the word out to the people in England to try and get the bird chirping in her ear.
Hey,
Cat
let her
Macario
know.
would
Let
be
her
an
know.
amazing. She'd be an amazing add-on for the Houston Dash.
I mean, just even I know she's only got 1 year left on her contract, but we'll take a loan too. Come on with it, and then we can try to persuade her to stay. It'll help Chelsea out because y'all are bringing in players and she's just following further down on the depth chart. So we'll take a Cat Macario, please. All right, Andres. Transfer window market is, like I said, is closed. Loan two, sold one, brought in two. What is your grade on this transfer market, considering there won't be any more additions?
It's gonna depend on how Lisa does and already Clarissa Laracy is doing things. But probably for now it's probably just a B minus, only because it could definitely improve depending how the season goes. But I feel like we could probably just put ourselves on the map and just like make a statement and sign someone big. But that's just my opinion. Obviously, there's a lot of complications when it comes to that and how to try that to fit into the payroll, all that. So it could definitely improve, but I don't want to say like a B minus is a bad thing. But yeah.
Right, it's a B minus with potential because, I'm with you. I don't know. We don't know what Lisa can do. We like what Lisa can do. We like what Lisa does on the highlights. We like what Lisa did with Juventus. So, we expect more from her. We already like what Clarissa's doing for us, and we didn't know what to expect from Clarissa because her highlights didn't show shit, and she's been struggling. So, this is already. I like it. It's a B minus. It could probably go to an A minus. So, Jake, do you agree, or what kind of grade are you giving us right now in the market?
On the transfer, I'm giving us B minus C plus level for
C
now.
plus.
We've seen what Larisi can do. I'm curious, along with all the rest of the Dash fam. We're ready to see what Lisa has to bring to the table. So once we start seeing Lisa and Larisi getting in, or excuse me, once we see Clarissa and Lisa getting into the mix more, whether they start or whether they come in and play 45 minutes, then I'll raise the grade level. But right now, it's a B minus C plus for the transfer market for me.
All right. Well, yeah, I'm kind of with Andres where it's a B market, just because we've seen Clarissa now and we want to need to see more Clarissa more so that grade could raise or that grade could
Mhm.
sink. But I expect more from Larissa, so I expect that grade to raise. Now, Zoe, yeah, it's going up. It's going up. And then, maybe off season during the middle of the season, Chelsea's realized that we're really not using Cat and we're in our off season window and we can bring Cat in and start her from the beginning of the season, which would be something special. So I have half a year less so Chelsea can still get something out of her in return. All right, man. So Zoe Matthews and Rebecca were both loaned out to Logrono of Liga F, a recently promoted team to Liga F today, Sunday, as we're recording. They got to play their first game in Liga F and they got to host Real Madrid. Woo, woo, woo. They got to host Real Madrid for their first game. Unfortunately, Zoe and Rebecca were both left off the roster today and were only at the game in presence in the stands, like 3 rows up behind the bench. So unfortunately, they didn't get to make the roster, even though they only had 5 players on the bench. They only rostered 16. So, you could have rostered her and just like, hey, I desperately need you if, emergency or whatever. But I guess they were not fit or not ready or whatever, and were not used. So unfortunately, that game I didn't care about watching anymore. But excited to see what they can do, and hopefully they get integrated in over there. There's also Jake. You may be familiar. There's a Paula Portito that's on this team as well. She was with Fran Alonso at Celtic, and one of the players that I was kind of asking for at the time for Fran to bring with her because she plays a winger type, and this is of course before A.B. Patterson, Yasmin Ryan, Maggie Graham, and all them other people. But so
Mhm.
I was like, so that team looks like they've got some decent players, and obviously they do because they tied Real Madrid 2-2 today, which is insane. So crazy to see, but I hope they can get some time. So that's why the grade is also a little bit higher because those two get to go over there. And I know I assume they're going to get integrated into that team over there and get some actual playing time before they have to come back next June. So I love to see they're going to get a year over that. So any comments on Zoe and Rebecca, y'all? Go ahead, Jake.
The way I see it is, they were just getting used to getting affiliated and assimilated into Fabrice Catra's system, and now they're having to be loaned to a team where they run a completely different system. So for them, the rest of the team is up here. Their knowledge of the system is down here, but it's going to quickly rise up the more they study. So it's going to take them. It's going to take them some time to assimilate themselves into their loan. But I have a feeling that once they understand that system and possibly a language barrier is affecting communication as well out there, so maybe that's a factor as well. But if once those two start really assimilating themselves into that system, they should come back greatly improved. The way I see it is the Mexican League is is Liga F out in Europe, or is it
Spain.
Spain, yeah.
okay? Yeah, that's all of those leagues out there are very technical, so they're probably more used to the physical side of football, whereas they're going to have to relearn the technical side and whatnot. But I have a feeling once they get the technical side down, those two are going to be the most technically gifted players when they come back to us.
Andres, you sent two teenagers, a 17 and a 19-year-old. I think Zoe's now 18. But two teenagers over to play in Spain in a top tier league. Not the best league in the world, not better than NWSL, I don't think, but your first opponent's Real Madrid, but you're on a team playing in the Liga F in a brand new country. As far as translation, Rebecca should be able to speak enough where she does speak Portuguese and she is in Spain, so there should be enough Portuguese speaking and enough Spanish fluency to where she's going to be understanding. And it sounds like, it looks like Zoe is having fun and learning the language pretty fast. She may have had some knowledge prior to going over there, but, she was in a little video speaking some Spanish, on the Instagram for Logrono. So if y'all are not following Logrono, go follow Logrono on Instagram, and they're fun. I like their admin too. Their admin was hyping up their team today before the game, or yesterday before the game. I forget which it was. So I think they'll fit in. I think you're right, Jake, where they just got to get integrated. They did play both of the friendlies, but Andres, two teenagers over there with this team. It's got to be a benefit, right? As long as they get integrated in, right?
It is, as long as they get to play, and obviously they got sent over because they're gonna. Well, they have to make sure that they get as much playing time as possible. Obviously, on the first day, or their availability is going to be tough because they still have to adapt, not just to their surroundings and obviously their teammates, but also to get to speed, literally gain speed, because they might just be like a different play style in Spain. You kind of said it yourself that it might not be as competitive as NWSL because there's definitely a couple teams that compete for Europe in that league, but outside of that, it's been it could be a good test for them, and they're gonna be there for the next calendar year or so. So they should be taking advantage of that, and hopefully that team is able to provide plenty of time for them to develop.
I like it. Hopefully they get onto the roster and get some time in there pretty quick. Because I was looking forward to watching that game today, and then when they didn't even make the roster, I wasn't encouraged to play the game anymore. And I had a football draft going on anyway, so I was like, I had to pay more attention to that. But guys, we made a whole hour today. We made a whole friggin' hour. So thank y'all. Y'all know what to do.
Yep.
Hey, we got the Dash Dispatch newsletter that y'all check out. If you're following us, you'll be integrated. You'll already get the notification. When when Dash Dispatch comes out, it's on Foxtrot TV and all other platforms. So our platforms were messing with us this week, and the last episode got released a little bit late. So sorry if y'all were waiting for it all week and then just ran out of time because the game popped up with y'all on Friday. So apologize. That was a network thing on the platform side of it. It wasn't our fault. So please bear with us, guys. Hopefully everything works out this week. You have more time to listen to the show this week too. Dash Dispatch newsletter, like I said, will come out later this week to catch y'all up on the past 2 weeks. And y'all know where to follow us. Andres, why don't you tell them exactly where it is that we need to follow?
Of course, Dynamic Foxtrot. Well, Dynamic Foxtrot is gonna be on X, Blue Sky, and Instagram. We also have another separate handle on X called Under Tiempo. We try to keep you guys covered as much as possible when it comes to Dash, Dynamo Dos. Dos is playing right now. Nelson Quinones is on bench, by the way. We're going to talk about that later on. But yeah, we try to keep you guys covered as much as possible. Also, you kind of just mentioned Foxtrot TV, our YouTube channel, the best place to watch all of our content, not just all the podcast episodes for That's Dispatch, Neural Time, but also like the press conferences for pregame, postgame,
As
with
you mentioned,
getting
the
all
press
yeah
conferences, every single press conference gets posted on Foxtrot TV as well. So you don't have to go just to Houston Dash. You don't have to go to the Houston Dynamo channel. You can catch them all on Foxtrot TV. We've also integrated the highlights from the game into the press conference and media availability as well. So we're going to let you get to what you can watch the highlights, or you can skip the highlights and then go straight into the press conference. So, you get encouraged to see it, especially whenever they're games that were, positive results. But y'all check them out. Go ahead,
yeah
Andres. Sorry.
it's a good no it's so good like it's a good a video sandwich on YouTube you can just watch from anywhere. Like, we try to keep you guys all the content for you guys to watch in one go, and we've been getting a lot of great numbers of the Dash content, so we do appreciate your support and everyone that's been like watching and tuning into all the episodes on our podcast platforms. We do appreciate you as always, and just make sure you're subscribed and liking our stuff because it helps the algorithm. It helps us for sure get more exposure to other people, and also on Ghost TV, we are also posting our Dash content there as well. So if you haven't checked out Ghost TV already, it's a good platform to check other soccer content creators like us. And it's going to be goals.tv spelled with a Z towards the end. And our handle is going to be goals.tv / at Dynamic Foxtrot. So make sure to check that out as well.
And another reminder, Das Hinchada is a Discord where we do come together as fans, and it's still a small little group, but we do get a lot of talking going on during the game. It's kind of quiet during the week, but things that go on immediately happen. It's immediately posted in the Discord. So if you want to stay in the know, let me know. Hop in. I'll send you the link to the Discord and get you into the channel. It's one channel, right? So that means the comments here, everybody gets to see the same comment. You're not chasing other people down. Like on Twitter, when you go to a feed and you got to read 17 different comments and get 17 different takes. Okay, it's all confined to one, and it's not too much to where you can't keep up with it. So y'all let me know, or let Andreas know, or even let Jake know, because Jake's in there as well, and we'll get you in. It's Dash and Chata, and then you can just mute every other channel. It's also a Dynamo Discord.
Yeah.
So there's another channel in there too, but. You might like them both because you may be a Dynamo fan as well, but you get to choose the channels you get to listen to and the channels you don't. So this is an invite to all you Dashers out there. Come on over. It's a little more confined talk, so it's easier to communicate with each other and confine it. Jake, Bayou City Republic, thank you for coming on. It's been about 6-7 months since I think we last talked. Tell the people about Bayou City Republic real quick, and then tell us where they can find y'all, and then we all know where we can see y'all at the game.
Alrighty. Bayou City Republic, just a brief history. It was started up by devoted Dash fans back in 2015, right after our inaugural year. The first chairwoman, her name was Sarah Gilliland. She continued leading it up until 2024, and then that's when I took over. Bayou City Republic, you can find us on X at Bayou City REP, Bayou City Rep. That's the same hash or handle for Instagram as well. And then our Facebook page, you can find us at Bayou City Republic as well through Facebook and all meta platforms.
Yeah, that Facebook page. Those are the people. Y'all come over to the Discord, y'all. Come on, what y'all doing over there? Hey, obviously when you heard us go by our handles, we didn't say anything on Facebook. We're kind of not doing Facebook. When I do my personal IG, it does show up on my Facebook. So if you have me on Facebook, you might see some of my content, but we don't have the Foxtrot IG hooked up to Facebook, so nothing goes to Facebook right now, guys. So sorry that we're not over there. That's kind of why we're trying to invite some of y'all over to us and come enjoy and come hang, and come check it out at least. You don't like it, you can always leave the house. There's we'll take new tenants. You take new tenants out, but all right, man. I appreciate it. Dynamic Foxtrot, Jake the Snake. I was gonna say. Something else, we'll just go with how do you say your last name? Smooker?
Smookler.
Smookler. I knew that I was going to mispronounce it, so I was like, I knew there was something else. So Jake the Snake. blur. But I always enjoy seeing you at the game. I did come down to the at the last home game and come down and talk to you before the game a few minutes and catch up. Andres, missing you at the games, buddy, and looking for you over there. So hopefully you can make a pop in here pretty soon. I know the 19th and 20th of September we got a Dynamo and a Dash game weekend. I think it's the Dash on Friday and Dynamo on Saturday. But guys, thank y'all. We're an hour and 5 minutes into this one. Woo! Thank y'all. Thank y'all for standing in last week. If y'all actually listened to the show and put up with me doing solo for 45 minutes, thank y'all very much. Hopefully you're not tired of this voice, but like I said, you know it, you're used to it. If you come back again, you must be okay with it. So, guys, I want to thank y'all. This is the Dash Dispatch, and we're ready to go beyond and do this again next week. H's up.
And that'll do it. 1-1. Full time from Lynn Family Stadium.